Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. There's some really awesome stuff today, guys, that I'm super excited about, so stick around because you guys are going to enjoy this one, I promise. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, guys, so right out of the gate, one of the best things that I have seen so far is that we have an update from Bluebird Simulations in regard to the Boeing 757 that at some point will be joining our fleet in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Here they are once again showcasing the cold and dark startup using the interactive checklist. Now, one of the things that I see right away that does give me a moment of pause is, once again, you have the pre-flight, which is great. And then you have engine start. So what about programming? What about a proper checklist flow? Now, these are things that I don't know. They may be accurate. I'm really hoping for some detailed documentation when the 757 comes out. Now, if I remember correctly, we don't have any confirmation that this is said to be a study level or high fidelity, whatever version you want to call it as, although it looks pretty interactive. It looks like just about everything is working and functioning. So I love the interactive checklist because they give you a start, okay? They give you a place to begin. I do hope that the documentation is going to support something much, much further in depth. You guys know that I do my guides. You guys know how detailed I like to get with a lot of things. Hey, yours truly will absolutely take it up on this. We will be doing a guide on this aircraft once it releases. I love the 757. There's just something about the way it looks. I like its size. I like its power. I love the big wheels on it. Just everything about this aircraft I really enjoy. Same thing with the 767. I can't remember which one stands a little taller. One of them looks a little goofier than the other. I think it's the 767 that stands taller, sort of looks like it's on chicken legs. But I love the 5767 series of aircraft. I think they're absolutely a ton of fun. The modeling and texturing here, I am so excited for. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love that we've got an older version of the aircraft because as one of you guys actually pointed out to me in a previous video when we talked about this, the 757 and 67 actually do have glass cockpit capability. You can retrofit, I guess, with the glass cockpit. So I'm glad they didn't go that route. I love seeing a lot of the old steam gauges, a lot of the manual gauges, a lot of the old hands-on technology that we really needed because it just keeps you busy in simulation. It's obviously, the modern technology is fantastic for modern day flight. That's when you need all those tools, bells and whistles, because it aids in your ability to keep the plane safe and all that good jazz. But when it comes to simulation, give me more to do, man. And this aircraft certainly, I think, is going to do that. Super looking forward to seeing how the FMC is configured. I can't wait for a video on that where they really start diving into the flight planning. Now, the one cool thing that everyone should be really excited about, when it comes to Boeing FMCs, they're pretty damn similar. So you can really get away with, like, for example, if you are familiar with the 757, or excuse me, see, it's on my mind, the 747 or the PMDG 737 series of aircraft, odds are you're going to be able to relatively easily jump into a 757 once you get it started up and be able to do all of your FMC entries with little or no confusion points. So that is a nice advantage. And it's the same thing with Airbus. Airbus uses a lot of the same thing with the MCDUs. So that is an advantage to having the same series of aircraft that we already have, in existence. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Super excited to see this aircraft come to fruition. A link to this YouTube video will be down in the description below, so make sure you guys check it out. Next up, once again, thank you to FS Elite for once again their amazing ability to gain access to some really cool stuff. This is very interesting. This is called the Yawman Arrow. It is built by a company out of Indiana in the United States here that is trying to revolutionize simulator experience. One of the things that is quoted in this article is that many flight simulation controllers are very huge and big and bulky, and they're absolutely right. Flight simulation controllers take up a lot of space and require a lot of effort in order to maintain, and keep set up. And then the cost and the ability to change things out, it's absolutely a big, true point there. This particular company is looking to basically revolutionize the controls here for people who don't have access or the space to some of those larger equipments. This is a really interesting configuration here. You can see here it has just about everything you would need. Side bumpers, triggers left and right, 6 programmable buttons, 5-way hats, analog stick up top, D button, 2 sliders, and a trim wheel at the back. Now, unfortunately, I know it's going to be everyone's first question. It was my first question. It does not look like this is compatible with the Xbox. But I don't know. The article itself does not specifically state that it is, but who knows what's coming down the line in the future. They have stated that it is compatible with just about every flight simulator that was mentioned. So we have Microsoft Flight Simulator, Laminar Research's X-Plane 11 and 12, as well as DCS World that was even mentioned. The advantages that I see here are, there's actually quite a few here that I can see this being used as. Number one, as a drone camera is absolutely phenomenal, especially with the 5-point hat switches along with the analog sticks. Really gives you a lot of very smooth and finite control with the drone as you would fly a drone in real life. So that can make for some really awesome cinematic shots using the drone camera. The other thing that I can see this being a huge advantage for, again, just in general, if you are lacking the ability to either A, acquire all of the massively large and intricate flight sim equipment, but also for like laptop users, you want to take it on the go, you want to be flying while you're on a plane, you're taking a trip to Hawaii, certain people who know I'm talking to, this would be a really cool tool to have with you as well. But again, it's a very innovative, and I'm really impressed with the direction they went with it. I was expecting something very, sort of like really? But the more that I looked at it and the more I started seeing all the functions that they really well thought out. I mean, from the front, kind of looks like an Xbox controller with your bumpers and your triggers. But then, seeing everything else that they've added to the back end of it and the trim wheel. And again, the trim wheel really caught my attention. And then the 2 sliders, you have prop and mixture or throttle and mixture. I don't know how you would operate complex, where you have throttle, prop, and mixture. I don't know if these are sliders here, so I'm not quite sure how that would work. But even the 5-directional D-pad, with 4-directional with the push button, this is a really interesting piece of equipment. Now, it's not yet up for sale. We're looking at possibly spring of 2023 is when the company is targeting for this particular device, but I really like the way they're going with it. It's a very outside the box way to think about flight simulation controls and really opens up a lot of avenues to those who may not have access to, again, the aforementioned equipment. I really hope for Xbox users, they find a way to integrate this in with the Xbox because it would be a game changer. Again, the Xbox was not specifically mentioned, but Mac and PC were. So I don't know. I know that Xbox accepts a lot of PC peripherals by default. I mean, obviously it's developed by Microsoft, so there's a good chance that this could be a plug-and-play device for Xbox. But given the fact that it was not specifically mentioned, anything that I'm saying in regard to the Xbox is purely speculation. But that would definitely be a very awesome tool. The other thing that gives me a little hope for you Xbox users is the fact that simulators were labeled specifically. X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12, Microsoft Flight Simulator, DCS World, meaning that it's up to the application to detect whether or not the device is actually there. If that is the case, again, that could be a very good sign to Xbox users. If the application, as long as Microsoft will or the Xbox will accept it as a plugged-in device, then the simulator will recognize it as well. Obviously, you have the ability to completely customize any profiles you want and control actions you want, but the company has even already stated that they have released, will be releasing with the device a bunch of pre-made profiles that are recommended based on the aircraft that you're flying. So they're really going above and beyond here, and man, are they taking a very interesting approach with this. Again, I think the part that really caught my attention was this is way outside the box. And it's got a lot of the peripherals that you would typically need in flight simulation. So good on them for this one. This was, at first I was like, oh, come on, it's an Xbox controller. But it really caught my attention after reading about it. And again, a link to this will be down in the description below. Congratulations to FS Elite for getting exclusive access access to this product and being able to share this information with us so I can pass it on to you guys. This is really cool. Down in the description below if you guys are interested in reading the whole article, but the long and short of it is Vatsim has gone incorporated. Now, as you can see here on the screen, it is non-profit incorporated, but this does a couple of different things. This provides future financial stability for the company, and obviously the ability to create growth and further enhance the environment and make a better simulation experience for us Vatsimmers. Now, a couple different things in regard to that. It has a brand new board of directors that is soon to be taking control of the Vatsim network. Now, these board of directors will be able to run for a 2-year term, and then they will have to rotate out. So no excessive gains of power or control of the company. And that makes things, how do I put this? Sort of like the same principle of what should be happening, everywhere, is it, keeps any one single entity from gaining too much power of the network and therefore keeping the creativity minds flowing and keep things consistently developing. It's actually a really good thing, and that's why I made it a point to mention this. It has a bunch of other different benefits from the financial standpoint, but we're just going to hold it off at that. I'm trying to keep this as light as I can without getting into the nitty-gritty. Now, what this does enable us to do as end users is we can now financially provide donations, or charitable donations, if you will, to the Vatsim network. If you would like to support them financially, that's now an ability that we have since they have gone nonprofit incorporated. However, it is also very, very clear in this article that you do not get any extra benefits by donating. You are simply doing it out of the kindness of your heart and wanting to see a better Vatsim, or just Vatsim continuing on. So again, that is really the short and sweet of it, and the big points that I wanted to hit on. There's obviously quite a bit more information in the article, which will again be listed down in the description below if you guys want to get down into the nitty gritty of it. But when you guys see Vatsim incorporated, I wanted you guys to have an understanding of what that meant and what that meant for us as flight simmers. It is a good thing, as long as it is, carefully managed and managed appropriately, which Vatsim has never given us any reason to believe otherwise. They are a very, very good organization. They stand on very good principles, and I'm really excited to see this, because if it does take off the way I think it's going to, given the necessity of the Vatsim network and all of the amazing features and learning experiences and training environment that it provides at relatively ease of use and, of course, free, it'll be an absolutely wonderful expansion point for Vatsim. It's going to provide an opportunity for them to build further on the network. We should see more controllers, more operation, hopefully worldwide. So this is a good thing, I think. I think this is going to turn out to be something that we are going to appreciate as as the flight sim community. So we'll see what happens. Done what I have been waiting for, a really awesome version of St Barts, or Bartholomew Airport. I can never say it right, but this is TFFJ, guys, the infamous runway 10 approach, where you come down off of the cliffside. As you can see, the Cessna there at the end of 10. They have done the entire island. The entire island has been modeled here, and that is absolutely fantastic. I am super stoked about this. I have already purchased it. I will be showcasing it later today in a flight where we will be tooling around in it and trying out the approach. But look at it. It's stunning. It is absolutely stunning, and they've nailed everything that's necessary for the both approaches from both directions. And we'll be talking about that later today, because we'll definitely be flying both approaches and checking them out. But they've also fully modeled the terminals, parking lots, and surrounding areas. Again, shipyards, everything is modeled. They did the entire island. I am so stoked about this. It is actually actively running right now in the simulator that you guys are seeing here. We are going to be flying it later today. I don't know if I'm going to be using the TBM as shown here or not. I haven't decided yet which aircraft I want to play around with in this, but it is absolutely fantastic. I am super stoked. This is easily my favorite airport. I know there are much challenging ones. Lukla is definitely probably a much harder approach, but just you take the whole scene, right? You got the island, you got the beautiful water, you got out the Caribbean, the challenging approach, even from the other direction. I can't remember what the runway is. It's not 29 or 26. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll see it later today. the visual approach cues for the opposing runway, I can't remember what it is, it's all there. Green buildings, the gray building in a certain position, trees, etc. Everything is right where it's supposed to be in order to finalize that approach from both directions. And super excited about this. It looks absolutely stunning. 3 helicopter pads where you can actually depart from in the sim. So the helicopter pads are modeled. All of your ground ramps are modeled. You can see the aircraft are now facing the correct direction. Nothing's just scattered around like it was. Blown away by this one. Absolutely blown away by this one. And we can find it on the sim market. It's only downloadable through their app, by the way. So you need to make sure you have the app installed. But on the sim market for 1850 euros, I think it came out to $19 and change for me. As soon as I saw it, I bought it. So again, if you guys have any doubts, just hang out until later today and you will definitely be seeing a video of this. You guys know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, how much I love St. Barts. It is just a absolutely gorgeous airport. I love the scenery around it. It's too much fun to fly. So stick around for that, guys, because that's going to be a lot of fun. Worst case scenario, watch me bounce down the runway like a bowling ball on a bad day. But, you know, I mean, either way, it'll be entertaining. So that is going to wrap up today's news and updates, guys. Again, stay tuned for later videos that are coming out later today. We also got my final thoughts coming on the virpil flight controls. I want you guys to be aware of that now that it's been a few months of using them. I'm going to let you guys know what my final thoughts on those are and if they are worth the price that they're pointed at. And then we've got some other cool hardware that we're going to be reviewing here within the next week. We've got another contest coming up where we're going to be giving away some of the R&J SimTech Track IR headsets. We're going to have, I believe, 8 giveaways, if I remember correctly, that we're going to be preparing for you guys. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys are in the market for a new Track IR headset, stick around. Don't be too hasty and buy anything just yet, because we have those coming up for giveaway very, very shortly, as well as an alternative review that we're going to be talking about next week. So stick around, guys, and as always, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.